What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Before I get into the subject matter at hand, I'd like to remind you guys if you want to be able to donate to this channel, want to show love to this channel, there's a link in the description box where you can donate if you choose to. Now, there was a segment on ESPN First Take where they were debating a topic. It was Max Kellerman, um, what was it? Max Kellerman, Stephen A. Smith, and was it Will Kane? But anyway, they were debating about whether or not Stephen Curry was a more influential player on the court over LeBron James. Just it's like these guys just try to figure out any way to talk about LeBron James anyway, man. But anyway, um, if you're talking about who's the most influential player overall, I think all you gotta do is look at who they talk about every day. You know what I'm saying? But if you're talking about on the court, then I guess the angle that Max Kellerman was putting this on is who people can connect with and maybe pattern their games after, and who kids can look at and be like, yeah, I like to play like that guy. And whether or not his game is more aesthetically pleasing to the average viewer, um, then yeah, I can see that argument. Like I said, I almost never agree with Max Kellerman, but I see his point in this one. Steph Curry is 6'3". The average person is like 5 foot. Well, male is like 5'10". So Steph Curry is closer to normal height. Uh, LeBron is 6'8". LeBron is, in his prime, 250, 260, a genetic freak of nature. You know what I'm saying? 42-inch, 43-inch vertical leap. You know what I'm saying? Just something that most people will never be blessed with. Okay. Curry is not the most physically gifted player, but he possesses something that is attainable: skills as far as ball handling and shooting. This is something that almost all of us can improve upon and can attain through sheer hard work. Now, some of it is genetics. I mean, his father is a great shooter. His brother Steph is a great shooter. In fact, I think this would actually shock most people, but Steph Curry actually has a higher career three-point percentage than Steph. I think I'm lying. You look that up. So I guess it's definitely genetic with this family. So that is more attainable. Um, but yeah, so if you're talking about like as far as how a person's game can influence others, like how they want to pattern their game after a certain player or their favorite player or whatever like that, yeah, I can see the argument with Stephen Curry. It's exciting to watch him shoot. Never seen a guy be able to make shots as consistently from outside as he does. Although I do think that he gets a little bit too much credit for uh, influencing the 3-point shot. I mean, the 3-point shot has been around since the ABA days. Um, it's been around since the 1979-80 season NBA. If I throw around names like Joey Hassett and Brian Taylor, uh, people don't know who I'm talking about, but these were the first 3-point specialists. He was also the first two guys that were the all-time leaders in 3-pointers made. Then after that, you had Dr. Duncanstein, Dale Griffith of the Utah Jazz. Then Bird overtook him, and then briefly he was overtaken by Dale Ellis. And then Michael Adams overtook him. Then Dale Ellis took over again and became the first guy to make 1,000 3-pointers in his career. And then Reggie Miller took over, and Reggie was the 3-point king. And then eventually, um, Ray Allen overtook him. So basically, what I'm saying is you had these guys before Curry that were popularizing that shot. Bird probably was the first guy to really popularize the 3-point shot. But even then, Bird only took maybe 2 3-pointers a game. Okay. Then you had Michael Adams and then Dale Ellis, but Reggie was the first star player after Bird to really implement that shot, and he did it even more so. He was taking about maybe 4 3-pointers a game on average. So he was using that shot more often. And it wasn't just Miller, it was the league. And starting in the mid 90s, you started seeing teams take more 3-pointers on average, double digits now. Um, then, of course, you had Ray Allen coming after that. And then also in the 90s, you had guys who were great scorers, but also had the 3-point shot already implemented into their game. You didn't have guys like Bernard King, Adrian Dantley, Alice English, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkins, what I'm saying, who were great scorers great scorers, but didn't have a 3-point shot or added it later on. You had guys already coming into the league being able to shoot from three, like a Jimmy Jackson, like a uh, Michael Finley, like a Jamal Mashburn, like to a great extent, Glenn Rice. You know what I'm saying? Ray Allen. All right. So, but Curry has popularized it since his arrival in the league in 2009. But it wasn't just Curry. You had these guys who were having these great 3-point records, and then, but Curry was the one who became the creme de la creme of these guys. You see what I'm saying? Basically, what I'm saying is this: Curry has further pushed a revolution that has already been going on for years. Babe Ruth revolutionized baseball with the home run. Before Ruth, it was short ball game. It was, the dead ball era. All right, score a little bit of run. Score a little bit, bunt. Try to get a run on base. Short man. This was the 1-0 or 2-1 uh, era. Then Babe Ruth had a season where, before him, a lot of home runs in one year was 8, maybe 10. Then Babe Ruth all of a sudden had a home run season where he had 29. That was unheard of. 29 home runs in a season. That's crazy. That's more than twice what we normally see. And the next year he hit 54, and the rest was history. That's revolutionary. Curry, to me, just pushed the further pushed the boundaries of revolution that was already going on. At least it's just my opinion. Um, but Curry is a great player, and I think he's determined to win an elusive award this particular year. If the Warriors are fortunate to win the title, I think Curry is looking forward to. I think he wants to win the NBA Finals MVP. That's what's missing off of his resume. Um, Now, having usurped all this praise on Curry, I do not think that he's as great a player historically as LeBron James. Even though, if they win the title this year, he'll have 4 championships to LeBron's 3. LeBron, what I'm saying, is still a better overall player. He's a more accomplished player. People forget he's a 4-time NBA Finals MVP. Excuse me, a 4-time regular season MVP. A 3-time Finals MVP winner. Uh, and he was the most dominant player in the NBA. He was the most dominant player in the NBA for over a decade. So you have to give him his props on that. Okay. Um, I guess I want to end this video with saying, like, well, who's the most influential player off the court? Well, I guess it would be LeBron James. He's known for his philanthropy. Okay. That's probably, to me, his strongest suit to me, as far as you want to argue whether he's a GOAT or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't personally think that has a lot to do with why you're the GOAT as far as basketball, but it just adds on to whatever he's done on the court. Like, for instance, to me, Muhammad Ali is not the greatest boxer of all time. That's Floyd. To me, Sugar Ray Robinson. Excuse me. Sugar Ray Robinson is the greatest boxer of all time, but Muhammad Ali is the greatest because of what he did for boxing and how he transcended to not only philanthropy, humanitarianism, but also what he stood for as far as and what he risked as far as in the civil rights era and basically standing up, being one man standing up against the United States government when he refused to be drafted into the Vietnam War. And that's what makes him the greatest. He's not the greatest boxer, but he's the greatest. And pretty much that's all I got to say on this one. Tell me what you guys think.